Hi everyone, I wanted to make a quick tutorial after creating a scroll effect in Framer with the images I exported from Illustrator Beta using its Turntable feature and importing the images into Framer University's scroll media component. You can find the links for the component and remix of this file in the description, and let's get started. Scroll media component is really easy to use. All I did was, while the mode is set to image, I added the images using the add button in this model. I don't think I needed to change any other option. After adding the images, I reduced the size after locking the aspect ratio, as you see here, to increase the quality, as I also exported images in 3x size in Illustrator. Of course, the scroll media component has sticky positioning, as we need it to be in the view while scrolling our content. I added 9 as z-index since I wanted it to be over the content. Our content is just these card component instances with title and text assigned to variables for easy customization. I also added particles shader in the background since it is a great way to add background animation that matches the vibe using a built-in feature, right? Let's also look into how we can generate the vector and transformed images in Illustrator Beta. First, I created a rectangle to determine the size of the vector that I will generate. Then, while it is selected, I basically clicked Generate Vectors on contextual taskbar and pasted the prompt, making sure I added in minimal style to keep the vector structure simple, and also added isolated on transparent background. After the generation completed, we can select our vector shape and just click Turntable button to generate multiple views. After they are generated, we can click Turntable button on the right panel under Generative Object section. And as you see, we can rotate our vector using this slider easily without creating any other vectors manually. We also have the option to place all the views on the canvas, as this button says here, and that gives us the steps of all possible rotations as separate vectors. And we can select any of the rows. As you can see, there are two additional alternatives that have our vector rotated around the x-axis a little, but I picked the ones that are only rotated around y-axis to get all those vectors as transparent PNGs. All we need to do is, after selecting them, right-clicking and under Collect for Export, selecting as multiple assets. Then Asset Export modal opens and we can select them all and just click Export to save vectors as transparent PNGs. Notice I exported the vectors in 3x scale, as I mentioned in Framer part, to have bigger images and better quality. Another key point I need to mention here: to make things easier while importing these images in Framer, I numbered vector layers, not to mix their orders since they are basically animation frames, just by double clicking each vector, then adding numbers before the layer name, as you see here, as I said, to make sure that I'm adding them to scroll media component in correct order. By the way, as of now, Turntable feature is only available in the beta version of Illustrator. If you don't have it, you can download it under Beta tab of the Apps section in your Creative Cloud app. Let's go back to Framer and check our scroll animation once more, using the images of the vector object that we generated from scratch in Illustrator, and importing its transform steps as images in scroll media component. We are able to create this great animation, right? Integrated into the scroll interaction. That basically lets us turn any vector into an interactive object. And that's basically it for this tutorial. I hope you liked it. If you want to see more, be sure to subscribe, turn the notifications on, check my other tutorials, and see you in the next one.